Hey guys, what is up? Phineas Film here, and welcome to the basics of Elder Scrolls Online. Now, I made this because when I first started, I felt like there wasn't enough explanation on what everything was. Like, there's a lot going on, and you can pick it all up if you get to the right places and read the right things, but you might find something and think, what the hell is that? And it won't be for a good few hours till you figure out what it's for. So basically, I wanted to go through at least everything you'll find in the starting area. This isn't the starting area, but at least everything you'll find in the starting area, and just explain a little bit about it. So first things first, you'll come out of the prologue and you'll have a weapon. You probably won't have, well, you'll have things equipped, but they won't be armor really. And you'll be basically thrown into the world and say, have at it. So you won't have much idea. First things you want to do is start doing a few missions. That's the obvious point of call. But you're going to be running around this area, find out what's around where, and yeah, basically just do a few missions, get a feel for everything, level up a bit. That'll be your best goal. Now, once you've done that, you'll start coming across things in the wild. So obviously there'll be loot crests, loot chests even, not chests, but crates, things like that. And you'll find lots of things like drippings, grains, meat, all that. Basically, that is used for provisioning. Now, for provisioning, you're going to need a camping fire, and they'll be just found around the world. And when you find one, you're also going to need recipes. Now, if you come across a recipe, you want to go to your inventory and you want to use it. I don't actually have one at the moment. I don't believe. No, oh no, I do, but I've already used it, unfortunately. So recipe already known. But yeah, it's going to say a recipe, and you're going to want to use it to try and learn a new recipe. You probably will learn a new recipe, usually as long as it's green. If it's too high level, then you might not be able to. But yeah, so once you've learned the recipe and found a cooking spot, then if you have the ingredients, you can actually make food. So, and the food you make, I have the ability to make, oh sorry, that recipe, but I already know it. I know how to make kappa noodle soup, and I know to make aqua verte. I know how to make something else, so I haven't been able to yet, so I haven't found a cooking spot. But as long as you have the ingredients, so for grilled meat I need kappa meat and drippings, for that one I need kappa meat and thin broth. As long as I have the ingredients, then I can actually make the food. It's pretty good. And then the food, as you can see, lasts for 35 minutes. It lasts for a good while, and like I was showing you before, you can augment it with these things here. Now while you're playing, you're going to come across certain items, like flowers, that you can pretty much loot. So, for instance, a jute, you can get raw jute, I believe. If we collect, yep, raw jute. And then that can be refined to make jute. And my inventory is full, but it's used at, I think, clothing stations, and again, you can make different clothes. Now, clothes is obviously a type of armor, usually for mages, and you can augment it eventually with different abilities, so you can increase your magicka, resist frost, and things like that. And that's what jute's used for. Now, you're also going to come across things like this. Now, these aren't actually materials, they're ingredients. So every now and then you'll find an ingredient, and I've used this ingredient before, so I've learned some traits of it. And like Skyrim, you find ingredients, use them in potions, they might work, they might not, and you usually find out a few traits about them. So if you want to make a health potion, you'll say, oh, these three use health, so we'll make a health potion with that. Pretty simple, really. Now when you're running around, you're going to come across iron ore. Now when I first saw iron ore, I thought, iron ore, I should probably find a pickaxe somewhere and start to mine that stuff. No, you actually have a pickaxe anyways. So you can just go ahead, straight mine it. And iron ore is basically used to make iron armor, iron weapons, everything that a warrior would need. So you want to collect that, and I'll show you how to use that in a moment. And one final thing you're going to see when you're wandering around the area is these little shrine things, and they let you collect things. And the things they let you collect are runes. And there's three different types of runes: the aspect rune, and two others. I can't remember, sorry. Potency Rune, I think, is the other one, and there's another. And they're 3 different shapes. And you combine one of each, it doesn't matter which ones, and they, like the ingredients, give you a new, well, in this case, it's a sigil. And they can be used to upgrade your weapons. So if you did, like, combine this one with 2 others, you might get something that says resist frost. And then you can add that to armor, and basically, that's how that works. Now, for the longest time, I couldn't figure out what they were for. So if you want to use them, you have to find a what's called a enchanting table, and there you can combine the 3. Just like you need a smelting area for the metalwork, you need clothing bench for the clothing work, woodworking bench for the woodwork, same sort of thing. And they're usually found in the same area, if not another adjacent area. So they're not that hard to find. Ignoring what I say in the end of this video, I have actually found a chest. Secret, it was done in a weird order. But yeah, I found a chest. So basically with this, you want to push it down until it starts to rattle, and then it'll lock in place. That took me a good while to figure out, and it doesn't really tell you. Oops, a daisy. Apart from, I don't know, it tells you at random really. And you gotta keep an eye out for it. Then once you're in the chest, an iron greatsword of crushing. Yeah, so that's how you open chests. Now once you've collected lots of different types of items, you're going to want to find an area like this. Now you won't find this area because it's in the next stage, but an area like this where it's got lots of different types of benches. So here's a clothing station, here's a blacksmithing station, and things like that, and you're going to be able to use your different items you've collected. Okay, so first off we'll take a look at blacksmithing. Now, within every station, you've usually got 4 different types of things you can do. You can create things, so you can literally make weapons and armor, so apparel, weapons. You can improve things, so if you have these types of stones down here and the correct skills, then you can actually improve the different weapons. So for this iron greatsword, if I double click on that, then I can add up to, well, 5 of these if I had them. And I'd have 100% chance of increasing its, what's it called? Quality. Yeah, so quality. So I can increase the quality. And the less you have, obviously, you can tell, the less chance you've got. But, however, if you, say, were to use one and have 20% chance, if it fails, you lose the weapon. So it has its problems. Same deal with the armor. Extraction. Extraction is very useful because you'll come across a lot of weapons in the field that you don't actually want. Okay, so you double click on the item, press extract, and you get the items at the top. You won't get equal to the items that's in it, but you will get at least some. And especially if it's weapons that you don't really need, then you can just extract them and you get things from them. You didn't actually get anything from that, which is quite disappointing. But yeah, got an iron ingot, iron greatsword, don't need that. Manganese added. I'll get back to that in a minute. And then certain items have, certain abilities. Like all these have different abilities. Yes. The other thing is, for extraction, with the iron ore that you found, for every 10 you can smelt, and you'll usually get about 8 to 10 ingots. It's random, but it gives you iron ingots. So yeah, so 9, another 9, a honing stone. You also get random items. 7. That's a bit disappointing. You also get random items as well. And the last tab is research. Now, research is what gives you the ability to add the powers that are already on those weapons that you own to the weapons that you want them on. So, all these things can be researched for, I believe, I don't know, every type of weapon? Yeah. So, personally, I'd want traits for a greatsword. However, I don't have a greatsword that has spells on it. Spells? Spells. Traits. Yeah. Anyways. I do, however, have a dagger with 2, or 2 daggers with 1 each, a hammer with 1, and a sword with 1. So you can take that weapon, it will destroy it, but you can take that weapon, and say you wanted different daggers, or more powerful daggers that you've made, to have powered or precise, which is the 2 I have available to me. I can say, or a hammer, and I've already got training, So if you want defending, or if you got a sword and you want sharpened, what should I go with? I will go with the sword and sharpened, because I might use a short sword one day. Actually, no, I think I might use a hammer. No, I'd use a maul. Yeah, okay, we'll go with the sword. Yeah, so double click on that, and I say, Jackam's machete. Okay, so that has sharpen, which does that. So then I can research the trait. It will destroy the weapon. In about 6 hours time, I will have that ability to add to other swords I own. Now when it comes to creation, you can use lots of different materials. So you've obviously got to put skills in and learn how to use those materials, but later on you will be able to use different materials other than iron. Then you've also can choose a style. To learn the other styles that aren't your race, you do need to put a skill in again, learn to unlock style, but you can always use the one that is your race. So I am an orc, so I can make in the orc race style, so I use manganese. You do have to have at least one piece, I think, for every item you make, whether it be a long sword or a dagger. You have to have one item of the style. So if I could, at the moment, because I've only got one manganese on me, I can only make one item. Then traits, you saw those traits we were looking at earlier. Basically, if I unlocked the right one for sword and I had the right stone, then I could add that trait to it. And it usually tells you, yeah, so this one will add powered. Now to the clothing station, pretty much the same deal in everything as what you'd seen on the, oops a daisy, that's improvement, as what you'd seen on the iron. So you can make lots of different items, still need the manganese, different traits, still use the same rocks, you got different materials, jute being the main one, and then you can use robe, shoes, go all the way, basically light armor and medium armor, so mages and assassins basically. Improvement, same sort of deal, except you use hemming and embroidery and things like that to get up, same sort of chance deal. Extraction, again, so if I extracted this one, this time I'd get rawhide. And then raw materials, I could use rawhide scraps, and that way I would get rawhide. But yes, and then research, again, exactly the same. Choose the different type of thing you want. Research training, half-eyed jack, research trait, it's researching. And then I can add that to other jacks, which is medium level armor. And now I can put that on whatever type of medium armor I want. So that's basically it for clothing. Exactly the same as smithing, but with a few minor differences. Same would be the said with woodworking, except I don't believe there's a woodworking bench around. So yeah, as long as you get the items, you can find a woodworking bench, see what you need. Also, not to mention that if you say, oh no, I haven't got any manganese, I can't make anything, just go to, actually he won't have any. Oh no, he will, yeah. Go to certain shop owners, they have pretty much everything you need. They won't have iron, unfortunately, but you can buy all the different types of these to get different styles and things like that. Yeah, so style material, all the different style materials, and you can say you got no manganese, just buy a few. Not too expensive. Yes. Now we come to a big problem with this game. Currently in beta, if you may get stuck in a dialogue, just go to chat, which is enter, then /reload UI. It'll reload the game exactly where you're standing, blah blah, you're out. It works perfectly fine. It's in beta, there's a few glitches. Now as far as cooking is concerned, cooking's a little different. So if I go to cooking, basically if I've clicked both of these, so it's only showing ones that I have the ingredients for and have the skills for. So I have the ingredients and skills to make grilled capon tannish, and capon noodle soup. So I need a crap ton of capon. Thank God I've got a lot. I can currently make 6 capon noodle soups, 9 capon tannish, and 9 grilled capon. Because obviously I'm using my capon, that will go down. But you can see what they give. So that increases my max stamina. That increases my max health. And that increases my max magicka. So I'm going to go with stamina because I use stamina a lot. And I just basically craft one at a time, unfortunately. I just craft them over and over. And it gives it up there. And obviously you can see here, you can cook different foods and different drinks. I'll get to drinks in a second. And as you do these things, as you can see there, provisioning and obviously metalwork, smithing, clothing, woodwork will all go up, and then that allows you to get different skills in it. So you can increase the quality, you can increase the duration for food and things like that. All in the skill tree, just invest a skill point and you can make it better. So if you're really good at, if you really want to cook a lot, which I seem to have done, then it's easy enough to, you know, just make your cooking better. And the cooking is pretty good because they will last for 35 minutes, just one thing, and they do a decent increase. So I'd say cooking is definitely a worthwhile investment if it's what you want. Ingredients, however, are a little harder to come by, and I'll get to that in a minute. The next skill is alchemy. Now, alchemy is basically, as I was saying before, you find ingredients and you put them together. You need a base and 2 ingredients. So you can find lots of water around, it's not that difficult. And then I'm going to use a blue atoma and a luminous rusa because I need what neither of those do. Hopefully I'll make a potion. Yeah, I got pretty much a health potion. And this one will just restore lots of health. And then unfortunately you can't do 2 of the same. But yeah. So that's basically alchemy. Ingredients are a little harder to come by, but I'm sure if you keep an eye out then you can probably find a decent few, especially if you know what you're looking for. And that's about it. One of the final stations is enchanting. Now, like I was saying before, you need 1 of each different type of rune, potency, essence, and aspect, and they're all a different shape. So potency I have 2, essence I have 4, and aspect I have 4. Fortunately, I can't use that one because it's like, that's basically common, less common, even less common, super rare. I don't even know how I got that one. But yeah. So I can't use that one or that one till I put points in it to as it says. I need improvement 4, I need improvement 2, other way around, but yeah. And I need improvement 1, but I already have improvement 1. I think you get that anyway, or at least I did, being an orc and being this class. I don't know whether that changes. So yeah, so if I wanted to say this one does reduce and this one does develop, so I will develop. This one does stamina. I don't know what these 2 do, so do that one. And then I've only got 2 here. This one does base, and this one does, we don't know. So we'll do this one, 3 unknown effects, and craft. And that one does shield, and that one does fine. So I got the glyph of bashing. So if I go to here just to check the extraction, again, if you have glyphs that you don't want, you can usually get about one rune out of it. So I got the trifling glyph of bashing, which increases bash damage by 3. So it's pretty good. Again, if I want to do a different one, I can't use those 2 at the moment, so I'll have to use that one. Another one we don't know is a Corey, and we know what that one is, reduce. So let's hope it gives us something decent. Yeah, Okori meant power, so I got the glyph of weakening. Reduce target power by 3 to 5 seconds. That's not bad. But now I'm out of potency runes, so I can't actually make any more, unfortunately. But that's about it for crafting. It's a lot of different types, and you can usually, in the beginning, just try out all of them. Just checking. Then, once you've made your glyphs and things, you can click on the weapon you want to enchant, click enchant, and you can choose what type of enchantment you want to do. So I'm going to put poison on this blade, enchant, and voila! I have now got the Dying Greatsword of Poison, which did 3 poison damage. Probably quite useless, but still. So that's how you do that. Now a point to note about inventory is that you have an inventory space. It's like Skyrim, except everything's not weighted and everything stacks really quite high. I'd say at least to 99, though I've never got anything to 99. You will run out of space if you get a lot of different items, however, but, you know, it's kind of difficult to fill up. Well, not that difficult, but as long as you keep an eye on it, it's not too bad. You start off with 50, you can actually buy more bag space for gold in-game, except the price goes up exponentially after the first one. So the first one's 10 for 400, and then it's 10 for 2,000 I think is the next one. I haven't actually bought it. Yeah, so it's a lot of money. But if you really need the bag space, it can be bought for in-game money. Actually, I have 2 honing stones now. Excellent. Another point is, once you have leveled up and you've leveled up a certain type of attack, you then might get the option to morph the ability. So you got your basic one, so deals 29 fire damage, flame damage, and 65 flame damage over a period of time. I can then you add a new effect, deals more damage the longer the spell lasts, or I can heal when effect ends. So you know, I have a choice. That's actually a pretty good one. So I'm gonna morph that into it. That did actually use my point, but you never know. I use that attack a lot, so it's probably worth it. So now I do more damage. One final thing, you'll find waste shrines around the place. So there's one here, there's one here, there's one here. Basically, once you find them, you can fast travel to them. Usually it costs, so I'm not sure why it doesn't right now. Maybe because I found it, I don't know. But usually you can just pay like 50 gold and you can go anywhere on the map. So it's useful if you don't want to run anywhere and have an abundance of gold, which I do not. So yeah. Okay, so that's about it for the basics. I would show you how to open chests if there was any around, but they're kind of hard to find. And they basically give you usually a weapon or piece of armor with a augment to like plus 7% to frost resist or whatever. So they're usually quite useful to open. Basically just play around and get a feel for things. You can look pretty much through all of this in the help and search, find anything you don't know. That's how I found out about glyphs. And yeah, so you just gotta play around a bit, and it's not too difficult. Just try and experience as much as you can. If you got any more questions, just put them in the comments and I'll try and answer them as best as I can. So thanks for watching and goodbye.